Good morning, Zoe. Good morning, Double R. Morning, Peter. Good morning, Dad. Glad to have you guys on the stream and ready to get started. So we didn't do a trade view last night. We're going to do it live here. We've got some time. And so what we want to do is we want to start on the monthly time frame and work our way into the profile. So we can see here we're on the monthly. Let's see if we are on the extended hours. We are. And so we're still watching this little zone above us. You can see the market trading 38.38 right now, sitting right here just below that zone. We see that 50 moving average on the monthly. The monthly is trading inside the previous days or previous month's range after looking below and failing and then trading up. And so we're still respecting a little downtrend here, but we're looking to push up into this zone, this 38.89, 39.22 on the backs of some decent earnings. So we'll see how the rest of today works out. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to switch to the weekly, and we can see the weekly, and the weekly really explains why we have this zone marked, right? We have all of these weekly bars lining up here. So we can see market moved down, it acted as support. Market moved below, it acted as resistance. Market moved above, it acted as support again, then there, traded below, and now we're seeing if it's going to act as resistance or act as support. So still in this downtrend, we're kind of in a steeper downtrend here on excuse me, the weekly. Kevin, good morning. TJ, good morning. Caesar, good morning. We can see this 200 SMA on the weekly that has been acting as a little bit of support, and we're trading up into this little bit of a steeper trend line coming off this previous swing highs. So from here, what we want to do is we want to take a peek at any economic data that we have coming out. We'll go to investing.com. We'll scroll down here. We can see we've got new home sales coming out in 51 minutes. So that's going to be at 10 o'clock. You've got that Canadian interest rate decision. That could be a decent mover. Adam, good morning. And we've got those crude oil inventories every Wednesday also coming out today, 10:30. You've got the Bank of Canada press conference at 11, so hour and a half after the market opens, and then that's pretty much it for the rest of today, economic data-wise. All right. So that gives us a little bit of things to mark, right? Set an alert on your phone or write down that, at 10 o'clock, you need to be paying attention if you're in a position. You want to make sure that, you've got a stop on it and that you're protected. We can see here we've got a nice little trend coming off these previous swing lows. We're going to go ahead and mark that. You can see we're working our way into this little triangle. Today's range trading inside yesterday's very bullish move here. We can zoom in and we can see we're one time framing up for the third day now. So lower high or higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high. Or one time framing up here. Previous day or current day session, right, including Globex, trading right inside the middle of the previous day's range. So what we're most likely going to have happen is we're going to be opening up inside the previous day's range. We're going to be opening up in balance, which means that the market will most likely be choppy to start off, and will have to kind of settle itself until it makes a decision on what it's going to do. And that means we need to be patient early on until the market gives us some clues, or we get some MGI, market generated information, about what the buyers or sellers are up to, what the longer time frame traders are up to. This another thing here, you can see it, clear as day, just like we saw it on the weekly, but you can zoom out here and see it on the daily as well. You have this zone where it's acted as support, traded through, acted as resistance, traded through, acted as support, traded through, acted as resistance. Seller moved down. Looks like the seller got squeezed out yesterday. So we're breaking out of that bracket that we talked about. And I mean, you could really draw this bracket here. And this is kind of what we talked about yesterday, drawing a little bit tighter bracket. So a back test of this bracket, that 3,800 being kind of the key level to see if buyers step up. Oh, excuse me. Morning, Roche. And hold and try to trade higher. All right, if we zoom in here as well, you can see we've got this 50 SMA on the daily chart sitting right about 38.68. Our target yesterday was actually 38.77. We didn't quite get there, so close, 74 quarter. And then we've got the 100 SMA 39.14 sitting right in the middle of the zone we expect to see some active sellers at. Something key here, right, that I'm kind of thinking, and you can kind of see where this price level is at from above, is if we do trade through this zone and we don't get a ton of resistance and we just shoot right through, that'll break this previous swing high trend, right? And we can kind of expect some selling, especially because if we add a little drawing here, do a little Fibonacci, right? That's right at the 50% retracement from that previous swing high. So of course people, that's that golden pocket to sell. So they're kind of expecting that, right? So they're like, oh, it's a good spot to sell, let me sell. But if we look right here, we've got that 4,000. You can see that market, how the market has acted as support. I mean, close enough here, liquidation through. And so I kind of think that's that next target. And honestly, that 41.22 with how the market's acting, you can't really draw it off the table, especially if we get some good earnings from Facebook today or Meta, and then tomorrow with Amazon and Apple, could really be some big drivers. That little sell-off yesterday about how the ad revenue, I'm not really a buyer of it yet. Not that we can't get a pullback, but until we break this trend, I'm not really a buyer of that downside. I think bad news is still good news in this market right now, and that bad news is just kind of showing that the economy is slowing a little bit, and that can be some good news. So next on the list, what we want to do is go ahead and update our chart from yesterday. And so we'll go to the CME website, CME, right? Straight to the S&P or E-mini S&P 500. We'll click settlements. We'll take a peek at our settle 38.70 quarter and our last 38.53 quarter. We talked about this yesterday where they're probably going to be separated. I thought I was going to be a little bit higher. I thought it was going to be the other way around, but that liquidation after the market closed, kind of threw us off a little bit.
What's your machine last and settled?
Settle, Reyes, good morning. Lecker, good morning. The settle is basically right at 1600, right at 4 o'clock Eastern time. And then the last is the last trade before the market closes for an hour. So it's right at 5 o'clock. So there's about an hour difference between the two of them. We like to trade the settle though, but when they're far apart like this, pay attention to both. 53 quarter was the other one, I think. 53 quarter. And then half back, we'll move up our half back. Half back yesterday was 40.75. All right. And so next thing we want to do is see kind of what was the profile up to yesterday, who was in charge of the profile. We did have a little bit of a spike at the end of the day yesterday, right? Got that little spike up here at the end. So definitely going to be watching this settle. We're going to need to see the market get above that settle if we want some continuation for sure. We know opening below the spike is typically going to be a sign that the higher prices were rejected. So we'll definitely have to see if the market looks to test back up there today and see if it wants to get going higher. But I mean, for the most part, we just, pretty much we're one time framing up, a little pullback, and this was tech related. Uh, and then the market pretty much traded up for the rest of the day. Liquidation right after the market off those Microsoft earnings. We've got a very prominent point of control, increasing the odds that we get revisited. We've been putting in poor lows pretty much all night. Every time the market comes down, it puts in a poor low and then eventually gives it up, and then puts in another poor low and then eventually gives it up, and then puts in another poor low and then eventually gives it up. Right? I didn't sleep at all last night, and so I just sat here and watched the market, and it just it pretty much just looks like somebody's soaking in some contracts down here. Oh, excuse me. Week high off last night's off off last and overnight as well. Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, so there's a week high, and then you've got that poor low in the Globex session here as well. And then if we look at overnight inventory, right, we're probably measuring it. I mean, it doesn't really matter where we measure it from, settle or last. It's 100% net short. So we'll look for an inventory correction off the open. What we need to see off of that is a positive tick, which we'll look at on the next page. So we want to see some positive ticks and get maybe that inventory correction and kind of fix this week high week high level as well. Yeah, I mean, nothing really. We're just inside yesterday's range. It looks like we're going to be opening up inside value. Uh, I mean, I'm just not convinced of any real big, huge downside. We'll take a peek at some of the tech stocks to see what they say, but I mean, we'll have to take it. I think today's one of those days we want to exercise a little bit of caution early on, and maybe better trade sets up later in the day. Go ahead and take a peek here at the daily. Be super cool if you did. Good deal here. Okay. So we'll take a peek at the dollar. Dollar is down, right? Look at this. This is a first in a while here. We're seeing the dollar catch a little smackarooski, right? Finally breaking this trend. We can go ahead and remove that trend line. They've got one more chance down here. You can see that's a trend that's been holding for quite some time, at least back from August. But the dollar's down below the 112. We've got this 112 level marked. That's kind of where the dollar needs to get up to. So that's actually good news for the market. You can see the Australian dollar, almost to our target here. You got the euro already breaking out of trend, so that's looking good. Bitcoin back above the 20K level. Spike rules in play. Yes, definitely. So no surprise here. We talked about this yesterday, and we could take a peek on the 30-minute chart on Bitcoin on TradingView in a second. Oil just breaking out of trend as well. Had that nice little triangle trying to break out to the upside here. Gold, not really that important. Bonds actually trading higher as well with the dollar going down, so the market's starting to, be back to its normal self. We can see Apple here, and for these stocks, we'll go ahead and we'll zoom in here, and we can see where they're trading at currently before the open. Apple inside yesterday's range, AMD inside yesterday's range. Amazon, right, big sell-off, liquidation after. Didn't really do much yesterday and opening up on a gap lower here. Google, same idea, back down into that gap. We've just been monitoring this gap for what seems like forever. It just seems so attracted to that gap that it makes sense that it just keeps filling that in, and it just wants to, go a little bit higher. Meta opening up inside yesterday's range, so being the weaker of the tech, still isn't going to be opening up on a gap lower. Microsoft, big sell-off here, opening up on a gap lower. Netflix pretty much held its ground, right? Looked like a P profile yesterday. Nvidia, same idea, not really doing much. Tesla looked pretty strong, probably the strongest of the bunch. We've got the TNX almost down below that 40 level. 40 is a level that we've talked about, right? We'd like to see that below 40. That gives a little bit less pressure in the market. Excuse me. And then we've got the VIX underneath 29 at 28.22 in the low of yesterday's session, the lowest it's been in quite some time. So that could mean one of two things, right? People aren't expecting as big of a move, or they're not hedging as much. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to get a big move. It just means that people are not hedging as much, buying as much puts or insurance as they were previously. Today we have what we would refer to as a CME gap, or as I like to refer to it as a Peter Reznicek gap. These are the gaps that he follows. Jim Dalton's not a big follower of the CME gap, but Peter Reznicek is, and I tend to agree with Peter. I like the idea of, if the market's able to fill the CME gap, then better odds for that upside continuation. Um, we're still using, excuse me, still using this spike. Spike rules are in play. So, until we can get above that spike, it's going to be really hard to uh, be convinced of upside, right? Might get some upside moves, but most likely we're going to be choppy and we're going to be ranging for the day. So we just want to make sure that we're being careful here. And then really, like, if we get back below this 38.22, which is that previous day's high, we have to start looking to see if they get acceptance down here. We do have some weak structure that it might try to clean up, but a break of the previous day's low would be putting us inside yesterday's value. And if we get acceptance there, we've got this VPOC, virgin point of control, right below that 3800. If we don't see a strong reaction, and I'd like to see this VPOC really get unchanged or untouched, but you could get it's only 4 points, so but I'd like to see a strong reaction here and a push back straight back above that 38.22. If not, there's better odds that we do trade back down into the top of this this previous breakout level. So we'll definitely wanting to be monitoring for that. Switching over here to some crypto, we'll take a peek at ETH first. And we can see ETH, right? That level was just money, and just look at that, 1500 right up to trend. We had this level right here, 1454, which was kind of our target. Surpassed it by 100 points. I think Kevin caught a nice piece of that. I saw that he had a good night, so good stuff. I was glad to see that message in there. And so now that we're coming basically back up against this resistance, we really want to zoom out here and look at the daily chart on ETH and see how kind of extended ETH is, right? You've got this downtrend from a pretty good ways above. If we were to break trend, this becomes that target. That 2000 becomes that target. I'm not saying it's just going to go up there. I mean, shit, it could. You never know. Morning, Tommy. You never know with crypto. Could do it right away. Um, it's a crazy world in crypto, but um, that 2000 target seems like the thing. Oops. And also, we talked about this yesterday as well. I think crypto might be snitching a little bit early on the rest of the market, telling us that the risk is on, when the actual market is not responding yet, right? I had said, like, if crypto starts to break out, I think we're good to buy. Crypto broke out yesterday. That's kind of why I stayed, on the long side yesterday. Even held a position into the close and got stopped out. Thank God for stop losses, and the position was already up, so it wasn't too damaging, but nonetheless, the reason was because you know crypto just looks so strong, so I think the risk is on. Right?
Hey, on that ETH, what is the VWAP at the white line, you guys? Is that a 200-day or 50-day or?
On ETH. Yeah, it's a 200 day moving average.
That sounds
So
like a good target.
yeah, 1700. Let's go ahead and get some Reveille in. We've only got a couple of minutes here. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying. Powering through this fucking bronchitis. It's just the absolute worst. All right. We are ready. 3 minutes left. We got through the trade view. We've got our plans. We've got some levels on the chart. We're ready and motivated. Ready to be patient, really. That's going to be the key today, is to be patient. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and click the bell so you get notified every time that we go live. It's humid as hell in the great Northeast today. Sure you feel it up there, Roach, where you're at too. Went outside with a sweatshirt on this morning. I was like, ugh, feel like I need a bath.
What's that bud? I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
It's humid today.
Oh yeah, it's a little warmer out.
Yeah. Or as you Northeastern people say, humid.
Humid.
It's humid.
I'll take it as long as it's not snowing.
Yeah. About 30 seconds here.
Hey, Roach, are you a Philly fan?
Not really. I a little bit of a Yankee fan, not much of a baseball guy. A little bit.
Well, your Eagles are doing good. The Phillies are in the World Series.
Oh yeah, the Phillies. Yeah. Yeah. I grew up an Eagles fan, but then I kind of veered off. You know what I mean? Not much anymore.
That's good. The Eagles suck.
I just root against the Steelers. That's all I.
Oh, yeah, me too. All right, little auction up there, little overnight inventory correction. We're opening up right on the overnight point of control here. Back to the open. So not much of a drive there. See, the breadth is fairly neutral here. See, the sectors, we got our top 3 out of 4 green. Tech being the strongest, but also the weakest, and NASDAQ looks weak. NASDAQ's selling off here off the open, to be honest. NASDAQ looks a lot weaker than the overall market. Excuse me. Really tight range to start us off here. So this is a little check below yesterday's value, right? So here's yesterday's value area high, or value area low, excuse me. We're checking below. See if we can get some acceptance here below. If there's acceptance below, they're going to target this poor low. No acceptance below, trade back to the point of control, which is just above the last. Volume's pretty light. Nice bounce right out of our zone, right off the overnight point of control. Oh, shit. Can you fix tick? Nice little move there. Volume steps up. Still pretty light volume here. Nice move up to the ES, trying to close that CME gap here. NASDAQ pulling a little 180 there. Tech's gone green. We just got communications and industrials lagging here a bit. So just be cautious here. We're back inside value. They're looking to try to trade up to that point of control, which is about 38.56. Didn't quite make it up. So that's basically just letting us know it's just a little inventory correction. We've got sellers trapped below down here at the 43. We'll see how they pile in here. Volume kind of coming in here right off the high. So you got a little bit of short covering here, or profit taking here. Let's call it liquidation, but profit taking here from these longs right below the 50. Now we're seeing some volume kind of step up. Got a weak spot on the profile. Failure to trade back below that level would indicate to us some probably continuation here. Live for love. Good morning. Good morning. Yo, had to jump on. Buzz, hello. Glad to have you, man. NASDAQ's still looking a little bit weaker here comparatively to the ES. Oh, excuse me. Back down to the weak spot. So it looks like we got some selling. We've got our first big half pipe forming here. Right, so you got, kind of a, not really tapering. You just had profit taking here, and then real thin, and then the volume's pretty much even, buyers and sellers. So shorter time frame traders really out here lurking heavy to start the session. Looks like we're getting some volume filling up here a little bit higher. Oh, you changed your name, Crypto Mojo Life? Oh, nice. Live for love. I like that. So you got some offering here on the 45.75, but no real downticks, and now buyers trying to step up above on the 46. So you're getting a little battle here, 45, 46. Pretty evenly matched here, though. But it looks like some sellers are trying to hold here. They're not doing a great job here, and they might be stuck right here. It does look like they're stuck. 45. I think they are. So nice little move above. We identified the stuck shorts. Now let's look to see if this thing wants to trade up to that 53 quarter, which is the last. Back to where these shorts got stuck at. So just a little, that was just a little relief right there, basically. And you can see that all it was just as soon as they got up there, they started taking profit again right there at that 49, what's this, 48 quarter. Now let's see if buyers step up here. You're getting some buyers lifting the offer on the 48. There they go. They get some upticks. That's looking good. Buyers step up again on the 50. Get some upticks. Looking good. Buyers step up on 57. 50.75, excuse me. Get some upticks. Buyers stepping up on the 51. Sellers trying to meet the match on the 50 quarter. Sellers are stuck. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of lifting of the offer here, but we didn't get a lot of upticks right there. So buyers tried heavy on that 51 and didn't get as much oomph as they probably should have with as much effort as they put in. A little bit of backing and filling here. Selling, you're starting to see a little bit of a taper here up at the top, little absorption here from these sellers. Can you guys hear that dog barking?
Nope.
Oh, good. Going as fuck. Buyers stepping up.
Barely you can hear. That's the neighbor's big ass dogs.
Yeah.
Damn.
I've
That
got the
you-
door open because it's humid as hell here, so I'm trying to just let some fresh air pass through. So they're battling on this 50 level, but buyers are trying really hard here. They're stepping up. There they go. Okay, so they got back to 51. That's where they originally got stuck at. There they go. They got it. There's the last. We got a mechanical high. So sellers were just lurking up there. Only 5 contracts straight on that top tick. Yep, someone's soaking it up. What we like to see. Point of control's at 56. That's our target here.
Damn, I got stopped out. Got in at the 50 and it stopped me out at the 51 and a half.
That's all right.
I got profit, but
I mean, this is an area that I have marked as a turning point as well. So, we could see some back and forth here, I think. Yeah, and you're
wasn't
seeing,
uh
there it goes.
wasn't 47 a battleground yesterday? 47 to 52.
Yeah, it was. That's why I have this area marked right here, this 52, 54 area. So all the way back down to half back here. So pretty, pretty decent response there. And what it looked like is it looked like buyers were trying really, really hard and just didn't get any move. And then we come back to the 50. And as we know, thanks to TJ, that's liquidation, right, TJ? We come back to the 50, that means that's probably liquidation. We get that thumbtack look. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Sat on a thumbtack,
Perfect.
popped right up. Right off the VWAP. Really tight range to start the session here. Got that weighted AD just barely ticking down there. The breath picked up a little bit. It's gone green, but nothing too crazy. Oil breaking up a little bit. Biden saying he's doing everything that he can to keep gas prices low for families. Right back to the VWAP here, 38.42. Got the 50 and the VWAP pretty much sitting right there. A little bullish divergence here. Offers on the 41. Sellers really trying to sell this 41, but buyers meeting the bid. Buyers might be stuck on this 41 here. Buyers are... Watch this 41. We need to hold above the 41 this time to get continuation to the upside. Basically half back. There's buyers just buying that half back right there. So I'd say that's a little bit mechanical, right? We got this mechanical low and a mechanical high. It's really anyone's game at this point. Be careful. Climbing down below zero here. So they break the 41, looked for the liquidation below the open. They buy right on the open. Up it right to the 41 again. Bot's not going to play today. Shorts start to cover here. Shorts are covering quick here. Still really haven't had any negative ticks yet. I mean, one just barely negative, but nothing below the 600. So on a gap down day and no negative ticks, it's kind of like, well, what are you guys doing? You had the opportunity to trap, people overnight, and yet you're just not taking advantage. Kind of showing us their hands a little bit early, right? That sellers are probably a little bit weak here. You know, that bullish divergence on the RSI as well. I think. My first day watching the RSI, so who knows. I got TJ telling me about it, and James has been telling me about it for ages now, so I figured, you know what? Let's watch it and see what we can. They got it. Now it's game time. Time to take out that high. Let's see if the sellers put up one more fight up here at this 53 quarter. But other than that, I mean, maybe at the 50, there's some sellers sitting on the 50 a little bit here. Liquidity is a lot thinner than it was yesterday. That is for sure. You know what's interesting today is my algo looks like it wants to play on the ES, but it's not going to play on the NASDAQ unless the NASDAQ starts to participate in the upside here. Yeah, we do have the news at 10, Roach. That's a good call. We definitely want to be a little bit safer here getting into this news event for sure. NASDAQ's starting to participate here, though. We want to stay in our position here. Watch for a little reaction at 50, but other than that, I think we're still good to go take this mechanical high. No real reaction there. A little bit of offers coming in, but nothing really crazy.
I caught that whole thing.
Okay, me too. Not a fan of that. So there's a little bit of liquidation there. So a little, what did that come off of? 52? The same spot. These buyers are taking profit right here at this 52, 51.75 over and over again. Thin spot on yesterday's profile. An interesting spot there. Hmm. Really tight range here, or what, 34 to 53, about 20-point range. Tommy must be here. I think Roach is right. I think they're pretty much just waiting until this news drops. And we might want to do the same. We've only got about 10 minutes now, so. Dr. VJ in the chat. Happy birthday, my man. Oh, Buzz, I'm sorry. I just saw this comment. Google and Microsoft thoughts. Um, I'm surprised a little bit, but not really. It's it makes sense if the economy is going to slow that people aren't going to spend as much on ad revenue, right? So I can't say I'm too surprised. And the move down was not as extreme as I thought. Nice, already up 75 points, Dad. Good stuff.
I have my screen on it's live right now.
Nice. Double R. Nice. Take profit one hit. Stop loss to entry. It's in profit. 50% remaining. Let's go. Nice, nice, nice. Got our first little pennant forming here. A lot of overhead volume. And basically what that's telling us here is these sellers are really trying to push this market down. And you can see, the breadth has gone positive. Weighted AD is a little bit negative. So you're getting some selling here, especially in these unweighted stocks. They're getting sold down, right? We can see tech's green, healthcare's green, financial's green, consumer discretionary. These top four make up 50% of the market, right? 11, 11, 15, 25. That's about 50. I'm pretty sure, right? 25, 35, 45, 55, 60. So it's about 60% of the market right here in these top four, and they're all green. And we've got all these lighter stocks here getting sold down. That's why you're seeing this gray line, this unweighted line, kind of trailing us down. So it's like there's some selling in the broader market, but the weighted sectors are really kind of propping the market up. So we really want to just kind of watch and see which one is going to give up first. And with this overhead inventory that's starting to develop, you can just assume that sellers are just kind of piling in here, right? They cracked below the open for a couple of seconds and then the market popped back up. Excuse me. They need to push this thing down and force some of these longs to liquidate. Seeing them really trying here, that tick starting to try to climb below 600, but they need to get some liquidation there. And we got 5 minutes until news. Maybe that brings it in. But what this is telling us is that we can probably expect a larger move if we break up above, and really above that last, right, mechanical high. Even if we get a little bit more downside, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more downside off the news. Failure to break that Globex low really be a nice key, light bulb moment. I don't know how to draw a light bulb. Right. Nice key light bulb moment right here. All these late sellers pile in, pile in, pile in. Pac-Man's down here just gobbling these things up. They don't break the Globex low and then go fix that mechanical high. Nice trade setup there. Back up to the settle and then probably see some resistance up here. Let me take a peek at where this 50 dailies at. 68. Let's see if it just on the RTH. It's 61. So 61 on the RTH only. One of the plays you're waiting for, Lecker? Good. Good. Awesome. That was like yesterday. We talked about, I like talked about 2 spots that I moved my stop up to, and TJ was saying he did the exact same thing. That's awesome. We're all on the same page, which is, I think probably a good thing. You identified the market correctly yesterday, so hopefully we can continue. Three minutes till news. Soon the trade vets will move the market. Yes. Like I've said, I've always wanted to start my own prop firm. That'd be awesome. So we got some or no, 1 minute. Was that 8:30 wholesale inventory? Prop firm? Yeah. Yep. It wouldn't really, I guess, be a prop firm, just we'd all trade together. Just have like a collective thought sharing process. I mean, basically what we do now. But just like on a scale where we could really put some work in. No, I was just saying, Jake, that we're all on the same page a lot of the times. So, and for the most part, we've been seeing the market correctly, and so it just kind of lets us know that And then Lecker was saying, oh, there goes the news. So impulse came right off the VWAP there. Keep going. Keep going. We fixed that poor high. New home sales were down 10%. They're expected down 13. New home sales 603, expected 585. So they're actually up. That gap up on the tick right there. Weighted AD's going. There's that 50 daily moving average. The settle is the target here. Starting to get the breath picking up here. NASDAQ not participating as much as we'd like. I'd like to see the NASDAQ be a little bit more responsive there. Whoa, Bank of Canada, no hike. What a shock. Fucking French Canadians, no offense. Did they lower? No, they raised. They just raised by 50. They just raised by 50 basis points, I think. Yeah, I think because I think they were at 2.5 and now they're at 7.5. So I think they raised. Yeah. They raised by 0.5 instead of 0.75. Yeah, so they raised. Yeah. So not the look that we wanted to see really, to get that continuation. We're just right back down into value, and this kind of just puts us back at a neutral position here, right? We're above all this volume though. Figure we probably got a lot of those shorts squeezed, but not all of them. Some of them are probably bigger and they're holding above the settle still. That's not a ton of volume here, right? Couple thousand each. Looks still pretty thin. But now that we didn't test, so we were looking for it to trade lower and then pop back up, but because it didn't, this kind of increases the odds that if it does break this B low, that was our impulse, that it's kind of a go with short trade to try to target that Globex low. But still fairly neutral here on the day. Morning, JB. Trying to stay pretty neutral, leaning a little bit bullish, obviously, for most of the day so far. But if this B low goes, that's going to be a kind of a go with look here. Still like the upside, but we just gotta make sure that we are paying attention. Yeah, very balanced vibes today and a very tight range, and we're getting that selling right off the 50 daily moving average. Look is still pretty thin. Take a peek at the volume compared to yesterday. About 2% less. Stepping up. Buyers are easily moving the market up here. They're not putting a ton of effort. Okay, there's a little bit of selling. Okay. I was gonna say these sellers were kind of giving that up a little bit too easy right there. Now there's some effort from both sides here. Bid stepping up on the 51 here. Big seller on the 52.75 there. 100 lots, doesn't hold. Nice, nice, nice. The dollar looks like there's something brewing. Yeah, dollar looks weak. But still, like, I mean, yeah, kind of popping up here. I don't know, dollar looks like it's about to crash. I don't know about crash. I think that term is just overused. I think a lot of terms are over embellished. I think that's like kind of an American thing. We say like, oh, it's a million degrees outside. You know, things like that. I think we're good for this. As long as we stay above this B low, we're still chilling. Back up to that 50 DMA. A little bit of offers there on that 62, but not really doing much work. Like I was saying, it was looking like the buyers were having a pretty easy job lifting the offer, moving price up higher for the most part earlier when we were down at that 51. A little liquidation there in the NASDAQ. If we get back down to this 51, see how we act there. Look at the tick. Pretty decent drop in the tick there. We're starting to see the breath pick up here. 3-1 on the NYSE. The Volt is positive, not too crazy though. NASDAQ's really just sitting in its range. ES looks a little bit stronger than the rest. And then the Dow, Dow's up 0.41. The Russell's really leading the charge to the upside here, but we're seeing some decent moves. We get a chance for taking a look at BTC, resistance chasing, and now finally to my swing long after that dip open. Yeah, definitely. Take a peek. Let's take a peek. Don't you fucking dare, Lecker. You fucking. What do we talk about? I'm short until it gets below that B low. I'm just kidding, bro. Trade you, do you, boo boo? You know what I mean? Are we on BTC? No. I'm just, I'm trying to hold on to this long. So. 5,500 lot order there. I just got one lot left running, and I've got my stop at 51.75, and I'm trying to trail it all the way to the high. So you take a little space in between, but just don't take out my stop.
How come you have to type out those Bitcoin ETH each time? You don't have them saved?
Well, what am I, a fucking expert?
Yes.
For the longest time, I would click up here and then type, but you know, Alex had to teach me that you could just type into the trading view and then it would come up there. You said your entry was 24.31. Your entry is like right here. Yeah, nice entry right off that excess. I mean, you could like, so we have these two zones. These are old zones that I mean, it looks like they're getting fairly respected. You know, they had been resistance, and then right around that 20 what's this, 27 level. I mean, it looks like it wants to go up to the top of that zone, to be honest. It looks like it's about to go, and it makes sense for that trend line to just be kind of next on the list, you know what I mean? You got that 200 moving average all the way up on the, and this is a 200 on a daily chart, on a daily, so it's not the 200 moving average on a 30-minute chart, it's a 200 on a daily chart. Same thing with that one on ETH that we looked at, Kevin. But so
That's why it was different. I was
yeah,
figuring that out.
yeah, it's a daily moving average. I don't really pay attention to the moving averages too much, to be honest with you. On the 30-minute chart, I do like that 50 on the 1-minute chart. There we go. Give us the settle, you little baby back bitch. Been resistance chasing last day, and finally my swing long on that dip after open, looking for 21.3, 21.5. Yeah, I mean, I think you're good, Clipper. I think as long as we hold this zone down here, this is a resistance zone and held as support now that we're above it. As long as we hold this zone up here, ideally, you know, we get above here, start to hold some value here. You could even add there and then target that 21.3 that you're looking for. That's where that trend is at, pretty much, depending upon how much time is spent, right? Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for crypto to develop into a move, but the next real resistance, I think, besides this trend, and you know, Bitcoin is very technical a lot of times, so people will probably expect this trend, is that 21.7. I think is probably the next target up there. I think you're sitting good. All these people that are selling this 50 moving average on the daily here. Let's go, Bitcoin. You can do it. Yeah, sometimes you just got to cheer it on. That's all it needs. Like, oh, you believe in me. Yes. Yes, I can do it. Positivity goes a long way in life, guys. That's a fact. Yeah, for sure, Clipper. Thank you. Not fading, too many upticks. There we go. Don't fight the trend. I mean, it's tough because we're getting so many whips down, right? And it's like it's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again. So I mean, there's definitely opportunity on both sides. And it's not really like we're having like a power market to the upside. You know, we're still inside yesterday's range. Little liquidation there. Let's see if the sellers try to hold below this 58 now. If they don't hold below this 58, it probably push back above the high here. 58, 59, we'll say 59, 58, 59. Oh, it holds there. Offer's still sitting on this 57. Really giving it the work. See if we can find some orders here. $58. Watch above 59. A little tap tap. There it goes. So we should go back to the high here.
I guess people like that housing news.
Yeah. I mean, it was not as low as expected, but still lower than the previous month. So
Well, man, I watched this crazy thing about rental rates and how there's basically a rental monopoly now. The
yeah.
Trump administration allowed the largest company to buy the second largest company. And they own like 70% in some areas. And they're using this algorithm to set the rental prices. And so then other landlords get on there and see it. And so it's kind of a feedback loop because they own so much that they raise the price and then raise the price, and that the people and them using the algorithm are up 30% year on year, but the 30% that didn't use it, they're only up 3.9% year to year. So it's a huge thing. It's kind of crazy. I didn't realize they own 70% like Seattle and some huge areas, just massive.
Yeah, rents are crazy high. We go up there, tag the high, and a pull back here. Let's watch this 58. I mean, buyers really stepped up on the 59.60 level here. I'd like to see them keep holding up the 62. Bid stepping up on the 62. A lot of liquidity here. People just trying to, they're just trying their darndest to try to hold this thing down. They're just not realizing that everyone in the trade vets is just holding the buy button and closing their eyes. So they're just eating all their orders.
Bitcoin did listen to you, man. The LARP.
Yeah, I mean, crypto trade's pretty technical, so it should do what it's supposed to do. Bid's still sitting on the 62 here, so as long as the market stays above 62, still good to run it. And you're getting a lot of people scared up here. A lot of people looking to run out of the way here. Can't believe crypto's actually moving. I mean, remember, we called it first. It's nice when things make sense sometimes, you know? Like, okay, crypto's going. That means the risk is on. That means that the market, regardless of the signs that it tries to tell us, should be risk on. And we should be good to go. I am sad that ETH never came down to my fill. But, I mean, I do own like a fuck ton of ETH, so it's nice that it's actually going up. I also own a fuck ton of CRO too, so that'd be cool if that goes up too. That's down quite a bit.
If you could call Cardano to the moon too, that would help out. 'Cause I got a
Oh.
shitload of that. I've been scooping it up here in these 30-cent range.
I have some Cardano as well, just not a huge amount. I didn't get in the Cardano game till a little bit later.
I've been adding while we've been at 40, around this 40 cents range these last few months.
I mean, at least Cardano has utility, you know, like there's a lot of people out there probably just holding on to fucking Doge still. They bought it at 70 cents or something.
Well, I also think Cardano does have utility, and like he's always in front of Congress and stuff like that. If they ever use anything, they're surely not going to use Ethereum that was, you know, coded by a Russian kid.
Right.
You know, they're going to use the white boy, in my opinion.
Butch Hutchinson is a genius. And that guy's just smart as shit.
Yeah, I
66
mean, he's also,
was
I mean,
spike
going
base,
up,
TJ. Sorry, go
going
ahead.
in front of Congress helps, you know, making yourself known.
I like how he pushes back against all the trolls too. He doesn't put up with any shit.
Thanks, TJ. That was a good call.
It does look like Elon's gonna buy Twitter.
Yeah, we'll see. Still waiting for my fucking Cybertruck in the mail too.
Right. But I'd hate to be one working there though. Of course, if 7,500 people can't fix a bot problem, then you get fired anyway.
I mean, I don't think the issue is that they can't fix it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 7,500 people figured out. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think they don't want to fix it.
But it's seriously broken. I mean, somebody posted it'll be 30 bots before you can even read the thing. It's ridiculous.
Traded at 36% right now. 18x. Took take profit 48. 25% left. Hopefully running. Hell yeah, good stuff, bro. A good way to start the week. So back below that 62, not a really a huge fan of this pullback. I'd like to see it. I wanted to see it hold that 62 level. This 59 level, 58 levels where these sellers tried to sell the first time, and it looks like they're trying to come in here and sell again. They got squeezed up a little bit. We ended up taking the high, but no follow through. We saw buyers step up on 62, but you know, since then they're pretty much just, you know, puttering out. Seen the sell-ins more in the broader market right here as well. In the lower stocks, utilities, materials, real estate. Energy's popped up pretty nice. Tech still looks pretty strong. Seller's still trying to sell this 58 here. It's crazy here on the East Coast, like everything like turns like orange and yellow and red. Not in California, and everything just dies like instantly. It's like, oh, spring's over, dead. There we go, back to the 62. So that seller tried the 58 again and didn't get a hold. So let's see if these buyers step up here again. This 58.
Meta, Google, and Microsoft are all the way down.
Yeah, they opened up down though. Counting.
Well, Facebook put out that report that they spent 1.2 billion on the metaverse and ended up having 38 users.
What a shame. Their leader is a fucking robot. Probably lives in the metaverse. He's probably one of the 38. On some levels.
I don't even think he runs it. They've hired, I forget, almost 100 ex high-level CIA guys in the last couple of years. I think it's all run by CIA now. It's spooks.
Could be. Could be.
Same thing with YouTube.
Well, there's like a conspiracy about that. Everything that has two O's in it. Spy company. Trying to spy on. The zone right there. Nasdaq starting to participate here. See that Nasdaq breath starting to climb. Nicey breath is starting to climb. See if we get a reaction up here off the high. I think I got to the mute button before that sneeze. I don't know if I got before it on that one, sorry. Still holding along. I am, yes. I'm actually added. Yeah. I've got my stop at 66 right now. I'd like to see a hold above that spike base. We've got 1 minute until C period opens up. That's why I moved my stop up so tight here. See if we get a close of these singles and then maybe add lower around the 58 again. You're long at 61. Nice. Yeah, we should be chilling. Right here, you got this weak spot on the profile. If C period opens up and doesn't just immediately flush, should head for that high of day. See the breath starting to pick up here, so accumulation up here really is kind of what it's looking like. I want to see us trade up here. The cards on. What I'd like to see. C period opens. Come on, don't pour highest. Son of a B. Shit, my fucking mic was muted. I'm flat. Sorry. Flattened at 66. Sorry about that. Short covering on the 6250 there. Watch the 66. This is where that initial offer came in. There's a lot of orders just trying to hold right here. They're lifted. Not all of them got filled there. They reload. So they're reloading the 65, 75, 66 here. That'll be a key pivot now. That spike base. The breath has cooled off a bit. We were almost at 5-1 when C opened up, and now we're at 3.5. Might trade a little bit lower here. Short covering was down off this 62. Short's covering again right here. More short covering here on the 63.5. And just weakness. All these orders move down 65.5 here. A ton of orders. Book's starting to thicken up. Can't tell if those traded or not. Just kind of bounced right through them. I like us above 66 here. I mean, look at the tick, really, just like failing to really close below zero almost at all. I mean, this is on a 5-minute. If we were to switch this to a 15-minute here, I don't know if we'd have any ticks below zero. I mean, the first one doesn't necessarily count, and then just the one, but other than that, you're pretty much pinned up above. So but it is giving kind of an indecision look, and I want to see us form up above this 66 in order to convince me of some more upside. If not, I think we might catch a little bit of a pullback here. Lecker, Green Day, good stuff. Catch you later. Have a good day. Hello? Hello? Sounds good. Bye. Finally seeing some bids start to stack here on the 64. See how they trade. Sellers just got trapped on 65. Might be clear for takeoff here. Nasdaq's participating. We've got a poor high and a mechanical high right on the same level. As long as we can hold above 66, we should be good to go here. Really, as long as we hold above 65, we should be good to go here, but there we go. Participation. Nasdaq's almost 2-1. Brett's picking up back to 4-1. Let's clean up this high. 117 to 8 call puts. Little offering here on the 70. You've got just fucking stop losses galore up here, all the way up to 80. So time to ride. A little bearish divergence there in the RSI. Not a great look yet. Need to see some continuation to clean this thing up. Nasdaq's coming into some resistance as well here. There we go. Clean her up. Next target is the previous day's high. $7 to 75. Nice. $74 quarter.
Bitcoin's about to break 21,000.
There we go. Just seeing offers here right at the previous day's high. That's all we're seeing here. I mean, these are just, they're just stop losses, like just lined up, ready for the taking all the way up to 80. If they can't hold this previous day's high. I mean, they're giving it a go here. They're offering. James says 39.20 is next. I like that. 39.22 is top of that range, so I agree with that. I like that. Mechanical high here. Trapped inventory is still down below. Look at all the volume coming in right here. We've got almost as much volume when we had this C low, 4,000, more volume, and just during this C high period. So there's more volume moving up here. Take a little peek around the block before we watch this thing break out. We've got, I mean, we already know what's going to happen. So we'll just, kind of, yeah, there it goes. Apple, let's look at the 15-minute here. Right, coming back, almost closing that CME gap here. Amazon, right, still got a ways to go, but trying to climb back into yesterday's range here. AMD, nice bounce right off that 60 level. Google, struggling here a bit, but still looking fairly strong back into that gap area. Meta, moving up nicely off of the low, still sitting inside the previous day's range. Microsoft coming back up to that trend line that it broke, back up to that 50, looking like shorts are getting covering down there. Netflix looking, nice and strong. Nvidia looking stronger than AMD, about to close that CME gap, right? And Nvidia's been getting a lot more love lately. Tesla looking real strong, up at that 230 level. A lot of shorts getting squeezed in Tesla here. And the VIX down at the lowest we've seen in a minute, 27.49. So we're not seeing as much hedging going on in the broader market. Market looking for acceptance here, looking for some initiative buyers to really start to be like, hey, you know what? We got them. Now let's ride them to the promised land. Netflix really on board here too. I mean, not Netflix, fucking NASDAQ, excuse me. NASDAQ's got a ways to go though. NASDAQ's still lagging. 11,734 is the target up for NASDAQ here. And the ES algo's already out. So Clipper, if you're in here now, still, you're good and safe. You should be able to probably move your stop up a couple hundred points above your entry. But what you'd want to see, excuse me, if there is any pullback here, is you want to see this get held. You want to see this zone get held, right? and then target up there that 20. Really, I mean 21.7 is the target there for Bitcoin. We're looking at ADA, right, Peter? Yes, it's just going. There's that VPOC up 38.92. Yeah, ADA is coming into some pretty heavy resistance here. You've got, I mean, this is just a sloppy mess. But that 200, if you don't, if it climbs over this 43 with some ease, and it probably will, you got a lot of these shorts covering 46, but that 53, I mean 50, I mean it's going to 50. To be honest, I don't know. I'm just kidding. But if it can climb above this 43 and hang, it should head to the top of that 52 area. So we got those shorts trapped right at the prior day high. We're getting a little bit of profit taking here. What that looks like there. A little profit taking right there below the 80. And people being a little bit tight, excuse me, with their stops here. But the bid is, definitely keeps stepping up. People are being a little bit more aggressive on the buy side for sure, trying to buy this thing up. Feeling they get a little bit of FOMO here. 110 to 1. Watch is telling us it's time to stand up. If you've been sitting down at your computer, it's been too long. Hour and a half now. Go ahead and stand up. Get that blood flowing. James has been doing us some science research lately. And when you're leaning forward at your computer, it actually causes that upper back, upper neck pain, because that is one of the times when your head is actually the heaviest. Your head becomes the lightest when you're standing up. So go ahead and stand up. Puff that chest out. Suck that gut in. Clench those butt cheeks together. Let your core hold the rest of your body up like it's naturally supposed to do, and just shake it out and get that blood flowing.
All right, I walked away for 2 seconds. What in the world am I walking back into here?
We're just closing our eyes and buying here. That's it.
I just started pinching your butt cheeks. I wasn't sure.
We're working on posture.
What were you saying? I missed the first part of it. Something about leaning forward, looking at your screen.
So James, I have the thing here. So he sent me this diagram. Talks about how heavy your head is, right? So when you're standing up, I mean, besides laying down, okay, but when you're standing up, your head is actually lighter than when you're leaning forward, or when you're sitting at a desk leaning forward. So what you can do if you start to get neck pain, especially, in this career field, we spend a lot of time sitting at a computer.
Yeah.
And so we can stand up, suck in our core, put our chest out, clench our butt cheeks, right? That naturally should bring your core in, and that will take the pressure off of your neck and off of that upper back area. So if you start to get that, that kind of like pinching feeling, or if your neck starts to get sore because you're sitting on your back, or you're sitting down all the time, your head is so heavy it can really strain those upper back muscles, and it can kind of convince the core that it doesn't need to do its job. And then your upper back overworks itself, and then once it gets tired, sometimes those nerves slip under those muscles, and then little pincherooski there, and that's what we're trying to avoid here.
Mm, yeah, that makes sense.
I'll post the picture. Yeah, I'll post the picture in the.
I'd like to see this thin spot right under the previous day's high, hold 74. Mm.
Yeah, I'd like to see that same spot hold.
I actually have my stop at below where we held last time, we held the 70 half. I was trying to see if I could hold a runner because I'm assuming we're gonna have singles when we open up in D. It just seemed like a lot of people were shorting that 62, so that once we got above that, they all had to start buying back, so that level started holding.
Yeah.
And then we took the high of yesterday. So it just seems like we've trapped a few groups on the way up. So I was hoping we could squeeze them up, at least to this like 90, 95 area or something maybe.
I posted that picture in the futures channel. Are we one time framing? Yes, we are. We're one time framing with trapped inventory, just like TJ's talking about. We've got trapped inventory here right below the prior day low. We've got trapped inventory all down here. Below the last, right, getting squeezed out, all these weak-handed overnight traders who didn't tune in to the Trade Vets channel got trapped early on in the session today. Those poor bastards. NASDAQ tapering off here a little bit. You can see the breadth is still fairly strong, but we're kind of slowing up here at the high. A little absorption up here is what it looks like. A little bit, probably a mix of profit taking and a little bit of a seller trying to step in to try to prevent this acceptance in this value here. We scroll back. I hate this fucking thing. I don't know why it does that, but. Oh my god, I have no fucking idea what's the deal is this thing. Like, just jumps around anytime you try to zoom out. But you can see. Maybe you can't. No, I guess we're fucked. You can see it on the daily chart. We're back inside this day's range here and looking for acceptance kind of inside this balance area, right? So we got this 3-day balance before that moved down. So we're still looking for that acceptance here, and that's why that target should be that 39.22-ish area, which would basically bring us right to, that previous swing low. And if we take a peek, if we take do a little science here, data drawing, add the Fibonacci, you can see that this is right there. That 50% retracement is sitting there, 39.05. So, oops. And you know how people love those Fibonacci's, so. And it's a 50% retracement. There's gonna be a lot of positions changing hands there is basically what that's meant to entail. If we're getting that 50% there's going to be either new shorts adding on, old shorts closing out, new buyers trying to step in to buy it up, old buyers taking profit, right? So typically tends to slow the market down a bit, and then you get the move out up to that, either up to that 61 or back down to that 31.
The crazy thing about Fibonacci is how it's like universal throughout the universe. I mean, all over the world, just every design is crazy.
I've watched a lot of videos on the Fibonacci, and it's intriguing, that's for sure. I'm not
It's
sure if I'm
mind-blowing.
a big buyer of it, but I am a buyer into human psychology, and so if enough people believe it, it can almost make it true. So that's definitely something that I look into.
Anytime there's a mass belief in something, that's why like home court advantage works and stuff.
Right.
I use the Fibonacci sequence for our email marketing. We get excellent results using it. I've tried different time frames and they work much less. I don't know why it works, but it seems to work when we're doing a 7 email blast using the Fibonacci.
How do you use a Fibonacci for that?
What is that, like the one? It's like 0, 1, 3. It's like if you look at like the sequence, I spread it out between the days using the numbers. So like on a drip campaign.
That's crazy.
Yeah, been using it for years.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, reaction to human psychology with certain numbers, and I think that I mean there's a lot of studies on it too. Like if they're saying like the number 4, people that were born on the 4th day of the month are typically like world changing or revolutionary.
Is that what day you were born?
No. Nope. No, I was born on the 14th. That's the day real OGs are born. A little bit of a bullish divergence here on the RSI on this look down here. D period opens up and leaves those singles.
Nice.
Uh-oh. Starting to
See-
turn into a trend day.
See if they hold. I was questioning whether I should have had my stop under 74, but I was watching that single above B, so far working out.
Nice. I'm in on 73/4. My stop's probably exact same spot your stop's at.
When D opened, I almost added one. I should have. It's all good though. Squeeze the shorts. Squeeze them. Man, that would have been a nice ad.
This range, because bull trap probably send us shooting to 13 to 15K, you think? Dang, really that low, Gaunt Clipper? Yeah, I mean, the market's going to crash on Monday, so, put a buy order down there at 13K. It's going to be a red Monday, last day of the month, Halloween. It's very spooky stuff. Can you
And
guys
you heard it
imagine if that
first
actually
from
happens?
Brad.
I mean, I've been saying it since like fucking January.
No, I was gonna say it's been like 9 months since you've been saying that.
So it would be. I mean,
Nice.
I'll tell you what. If it does happen, I will step into that status. I'll have to fucking wear a suit every day after that.
Dude, that was funny, Red. Before you had even said your entry, I got in right there at 73.
Nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
You've got some serious fear about an October crash. Yeah, and I think Clipper, I really think it's related to the whole Elon thing. I think it's a black swan that really people aren't accounting for, and um, you know, maybe that will help the trade vets get the notoriety that it deserves. You know what I mean? We've got a team of people here that are just so patient and so hardworking and so willing to put in the work to identify what's going on and improving every single day. And you've got other dumb fucks on other channels just spewing bullshit constantly and suckering people in and ruining people's lives and shit. And it just unfortunate. But you never know. You don't want to speak too much truth. You don't want to get Kanye'd. You all saw what happened to Kanye.
So look how many 1 minute candles there are on that little like rollover, and then look how many candles it took to just clean all that out. Like three candles and it's over.
So something that Peter Reznicek calls this, and he normally talks about it on a 15-minute, but when you have this kind of move down that takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles that all get taken out by one candle, he talks about like a fuck, now I can't remember what it's called. James, what is it called? He talks about
Engulfing candle.
No, he calls it a fail something. I can't remember, but he does. That's something that he talks about and something that looks for in it. And basically, it's just showing how weak this selling was.
Yeah, a lot of people, or well,
Worthless.
just I guess one person that I've seen, like as
Seller
soon
shut
as
off. There we
the
go, JD
candle
Clark.
breaks it.
Oh, sorry, TJ. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just gonna say, as soon as you get a higher high is like an entry for some people, and then they ride the squeeze.
Right. Yeah, he calls it sellers shut off. That's what he calls it. J Clark third. That is correct. Thank you.
We gotta get you unshadow banned on YouTube.
Yeah. I don't post enough stuff. They want a lot of effort. Like the day after I posted that first short video, all of a sudden we had like 150 people watching the channel. And then, back to our normal 20 or so. Our 20 faithfuls. But
Bro, it's crazy. We've been doing this over a year.
yeah.
Yeah, but 20 is a good number of people though. Not too many.
Oh, I'm not complaining at all, to be honest. Like I'm saying like the algorithm is set up to promote, clicks.
Yeah.
And I
yeah,
don't
put
I
in
don't
front of more people.
I don't monetize these videos either. So, that they don't get anything off of it, so they don't care about the channel. You got to monetize all your stuff if you want the algorithm to be on your side as well. Just like, annoying as fuck during a live stream if you're just watching a live stream and then all of a sudden you're like, is your trading sucking? Join my live seminar and I'll teach you the one trade a day to make $5,000 in the first 15 minutes of every single day. Guaranteed. Every day, all day, by myself.
Oh, so true.
One trade.
Well, it's that or a Elon Musk commercial about how send him 1 Bitcoin, he'll send you back 2.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick out which color your Lamborghini is?
Yeah.
Are you tired of your 9 to 5?
It's kind of bullshit how YouTube even allows that because they obviously have the algorithm to censor shit.
all about dollar bills, y'all.
I love in that book, Brad, it talks about that. Basically, it's like if you see people trying to sell you things that are like, this is what the professionals use.
Yeah, it just, I mean, they just want. I mean, they're preying upon despair. You know what I mean? And that's just.
No, like what it was saying in that book is that people, naturally take the path of least resistance. So people are like, oh, this takes the least amount of work. I'm gonna go with this.
Right. And that's one thing you learn. Like you learn it fast or you learn it slow, but you do learn it that trading is not easy, and there isn't an easy path and it's all the same path. It's
Mhm.
just a matter of, if you keep your eyes open or if you veer off and then come back.
And I really wish I would have added on that retest of the 72 so I could take profit and then have a runner still. It's easy when it comes back that far to start convincing yourself you were wrong.
Yeah.
What almost got me is I was in at 73 and then it went all the way up to like 84 or something. And then it came all the way back down to like 77, 76. And I was like, oh.
I was in a nice long this morning. Like nice for a long time. And ended up closing at 66 when we traded back through 66 and then ended up adding back again at 68 and then holding, and then this last one added a couple at 73 quarter. I think we're going 39.22. It's gonna be like yesterday. We just keep holding one lot all day until we get to that. We were so close to 77 yesterday. I was so fucking pissed. And my uncle got on and started shorting and had to ruin all my fun. Your brother Charles does the first hour YouTube and then to get the algos and then shuts it down to private. Yeah. Yeah, and Charles doesn't charge much, I don't think. I think he charges like $50 a month or $25 a month or something like that. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of people for their trade rooms, they're charging like, fucking arm. But like, I mean, $50 a month, that's not bad. $10 a month. So yeah, that's awesome, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. $10 a month, that's not bad at all. That's awesome. 2 points on the MES, like that's, and he'll get you 2 points on the MES every month, guaranteed. He's got a good eye on the market. He's going for a huge volume of subscribers. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I by my interactions with him, I mean, he might have a lot of subscribers, but like he enjoys teaching. You can just tell by kind of the person that he is. So, but I mean, yeah, you should get paid for your work. I agree with that, like he's putting in a lot of work. He's on open till close every single day. He's not half as humble as me. Oh, I mean, I don't know. Oh, I mean, I've only had the one interaction with him, so I'm not sure. He seemed like it at least. Being humble is. I mean, there's just no point to be cocky, I guess. The market really just it'll humble you. You trade the market long enough, and you'll develop some humbleness if you're not a humble person. Be humble or get humbled. Yeah, TJ, that's a good way to put it. Jake V, you fell for one of those guys. Envy selling education, but it was so poorly done. There was one guy. Finally getting into our zone here, guys. There was one guy on there, and this is like back 2020, I think, like right after COVID. He had like a beard, and then he's like, he had a broken arm for a little while, and he was just talking about how he makes like a fucking $1 million trading tech stocks every morning. You know, it was just a fucking, it was comical. One thing that people never teach is they never teach about I mean, besides Jim Dalton, you know, he's big psychology, but that's what most people don't teach is your own worst enemy in the market most of the times is just yourself. Most of the reason you're not successful is not because the trading style that you bought doesn't work or because your technical analysis is shit. It's because you don't follow your own fucking plan. Most of the time is the reason that you are unsuccessful. This is just fucking beautiful. Where's this 100 SMA at? Oh, I think we're like almost to it. 39.05. So no strong reaction here. If we don't get a strong reaction here, right? Not saying that we have and or might not. But if we don't get the strong reaction here, right, we'll be looking to trade to that opposite edge. And that will pretty much take us right up to this corner here, which is that 39.22. And that seems to be the ticket here so far today. Nasdaq's almost up to its target here, 1135. Yeah, the Russell's up 2.5%. Russell was up big yesterday as well. Look at the dollars down at 109. What do we got? 15 minutes until E period opens up.
What's the Russell?
The Russell 2000s, like all your mom and pop stocks. Like all the small cap. We'll go ahead and erase this line here so we can kind of see a little bit easier. Maybe we'll make this a little bit. We'll just make it gray for now.
This POC right here seems like an obvious point people would try to take profit or whatever. $92. Sometimes I look at stuff like that, like the point of control line or whatever, and I'm like, what percentage of traders are using market profile? You know, it's like probably not the majority for sure.
No, most traders, especially most retail traders, are trading price. They're not paying attention to value. They're not paying attention to inventory. They're paying attention to their oscillators. They're paying attention to moving averages, and they're paying attention to price.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anybody else use it.
There's a lot of people that post videos about it, but I don't know if anyone uses it as an actual trading tool. People jump onto trends, you know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, like that's one way to get your channel to blow up is if you go on YouTube and look at the top trading videos and just copy them, make them, regardless of if you trade that style or not, just make the same video, put your little spin on it, post the video, people will click. And that's one thing, like, I've always decided never to do. It's just like the quality of the videos on the trade vets might not be the best quality. I've tried for the life of me to get the fucking pop-up thing to pop up on the screen and show the click button and the like and subscribe button, but I just fucking suck at it, and I just don't have the willpower to do it. It's just like, who cares? It's not that important. But the quality of information is what the focus is. And the community is, I think that of any Discord that I've been in or any community that I've been a part of, you don't get the two-way action that we get here in this community. Mostly just one-sided, one person just expressing their opinion, and then either nobody ever adversing the leader or nobody even offering a second opinion, which in reality is just like that's how fucking the Holocaust happens. And America's got to fucking sign up and just start smacking asses. Buyer's stuck again here. Or seller's stuck again here. Yeah, tape reading is definitely a skill that takes time, and it's a lot of time spent watching to get good at it. It definitely does take time. I watch the Dom constantly. That's where I place all my trades at. But I mean, Jim Dalton doesn't even use the Dom or the Dome. He's like fucking, he's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I'm like Luke Skywalker. You're full of strong opinions, hell yeah. Miko, yeet. ARK is even up today. My God, everyone's buying. I dislike Coinbase, but if we see a crypto rally, I'm thinking retail might come into coin. Could see some upside, hasn't broken range probably yet, like ARK and MSTR. Any thoughts? I was literally just thinking that same thing. Yep, I agree. And I own a fuckload of CRO, so I wouldn't mind if we get a bit of that. I don't think this is going to sustain though. Like I said, this is just a rally into Monday, and then and Monday can change, because if Elon does buy Twitter, then then I'm wrong, and then Monday is it could be different. I still am positioned for Monday to be a very, very down day, and I like the position that I am in. I'm hedged well, and I'm gonna hold it. And I don't think they'll announce the deal getting done until after the market closes on Friday anyways. You're watching a footprint and order flow? Yeah, footprint is tough. Depends what you watch, what footprint you watch on. But yeah, I mean, it can be beneficial, I think. A lot of numbers. But for me, numbers, that's what makes sense to me. Numbers make more sense to me than letters. All right, Zoe, we'll catch you later. Have a good day. Hopefully, they get you back into your house and you guys get your stuff back soon. I don't know if the insurance covers something like that. Hopefully it does. This is that time right here, especially we're at that VPOC. You're gonna get a lot of retail traders. Oh, you move back in tomorrow? Oh, good. Not too much was damaged. That's good. This is where a lot of retail traders get trapped here, getting short. I think you're seeing the volume come in here right on this previous VPOC. We're getting these rotations, but no real push down, and you can see some of these weak spots here below, right? So you got this weak spot 88, you've got another weak spot here 84, you've got this block of weak spots here around the 80. This is, these are kind of the signs that if there is some selling and we get a tick that tries to climb below zero, which it hasn't really happened yet, that inventory is just getting trapped higher and higher and higher. Today was the trade I was looking for yesterday. Acceptance over 54, target 92, 94, top of balance. Yeah, I remember you talking about that actually yesterday. I'd like to see one more shove down, like right to this 85, 86 area, and then a little pop, Aruski. Jake, I am using Sierra charts. I'm using Ninja for my algo, but I'm using Sierra charts for my intraday trades. The high and the low from 916.
Yeah, because the day after that respected the low, and then the third day respected the high of that first day. So that's just kind of the zone. I'm treating the rest like a look below and fell or a look above and fell.
That makes sense.
That fourth day that's really long was like FOMC day or something, right? It was like a news event, I think.
The 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. Have I used Moto Wave or Order Flow Labs? No, I have not. I've heard of Order Flow Labs, I think. Is that Job? Follow a guy on Twitter named Job, and I think he's an Order Flow Labs guy. Haven't seen him post much in a while though. Breath picking up, NASDAQ picking up. Stuck on the 9. Yeah, and a dude named Leo. Yeah, I know those guys. Yeah, they have a good grasp on the market, I think. They trade a lot of delta. They do a lot of delta trading. I think they use Sierra charts too.
Seems like we would have a lot of supply at like the 39.20 from like the 1st of September, like the 1st through the 6th. We kind of came down into that area and it held, and we went back up. Seems like there'd be a lot of like supply there.
Yeah, I mean, like this, if we look on the daily, like you can see this has just been acting right as resistance. So the selling of the 50 worked yesterday, but not today. So I'm not sure how many people really follow the 100. I had just added the 100 because it was the 50 and the 200 were so far apart. I wanted to try to get a little median action. Yeah, it makes sense that there's a bunch of trapped inventory here, and that's why I'm saying I think there's possibility to squeeze up even in the next 2 days, all the way to 41.24. You're worried Sierra's beyond your ability? I don't think so, my friend.
It feels like it at first because it feels like you're on like a Windows 98 computer, but it starts making sense after you stick with it for about a couple days, week.
I mean, if Jared can figure it out, anyone can figure it out.
What the fuck?
Don't act like you're not computer illiterate.
Oh gosh.
All right, E period opens up with some singles. Let's see what we get.
You always talk shit about your friends. No, it does kind of have that vibe. Like this reminds me of like something my dad would have traded on like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like you went back in time when you start using Sierra charts.
Like you got to call the broker. Like I'm telling you, bye. It just has that vibe.
Gosh, could you imagine picking up the phone every time you wanted to place a trade
I
and
know.
talking to someone?
I like it a lot more
It'd be
though
so weird.
than Ninja Trader. I really do. I haven't had one problem with it. I had a lot of problems with Ninja.
What's crazier is that when you call the guy, they still have to like send a signal to the floor, and somebody has to physically. That was what it was back then. There was no digital trading, so you're calling somebody was just the first step of that entire process of somebody literally writing down on a piece of paper, this guy just bought that ticker.
Yeah, you had to really want to buy it because you didn't know what fill price you were going to get by the time it trickled down.
Well, no. You got the fill price. You got quoted on the phone. The reason, and that's why they used to have this settlement period, and it's because of the old electronic trading. Because during settlement, that's when they had to go back and kind of fill all these orders and do all the rest of this trading for all of the orders that didn't get quoted and filled on the right price throughout the day. But you got quoted on the phone on your fill price. Yeah.
And I believe the market maker basically had to eat it if they told you a quote that was wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, but them guys weren't trade. That's why them guys on the floor had such an advantage. They didn't know what the hell. They didn't know how to trade. It was a scam.
They didn't need to know. Yeah.
They just paid so much money for their seats, and they were all just like a bunch of Italians in there scamming other people, laughing it up. A lot of times when guys were on the wrong side of the market, they say, "Well, next morning you just you throw me this much or whatever," and that's how they settle. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And who do you think ate all that? The customer ate it. They were just screwing them. They didn't know what. That's why none of them not many of them traders made it when they changed it. You know what I mean? Half of them had to retire.
Well, that's why half of them are fucking YouTubers now, talking about how when they used to work on the floor.
Yeah.
And then the floor went electronic, and now they don't trade anymore because they never knew how to trade. It's easy when all you're doing is answering the phone and just saying, yeah.
Yeah, or you have a buddy. Yeah, if you're buddies with these big guys that come in with the orders, and you've got some money, you're gonna they come in with a huge order. They don't want a guy. I'll take two. I'll take one. No, they want a big guy, so they just go to you. You know what I mean? And they throw it. But and you gotta one hand washes the other.
That
out
last
to
1 minute
dinner
count
and
was
whatever
not
else.
encouraging.
You said not encouraging?
Yeah, the way it has the wick up on the top like that.
Mm.
Be interested to see if we come back and test the 88 half.
I'm not even in right now. I have a resting order at 80. It's trying to get filled. Hope I got filled.
You're not getting filled.
Shut up.
You're not getting.
Not at 80, that's for sure.
No, it's gonna go down to 80, Brad, before it goes up to 90 or to 20. Okay. You're not getting
Yeah, why 80? What is 80? What's
Yeah, I
the
don't know
significance
80.
of
Maybe 80 half. Maybe 81. Not 80.
What's the significance of 80? I don't understand why you don't just buy right now. This thing's going up.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. It says it right across the screen.
some big
Only
old
on
thing pops up,
YouTube.
starts flashing. It's like not financial advice. You should make a button, Brad, that pops up every time you say,
Oh, it says
something.
it says it on the YouTube.
Oh,
Right across the top of the screen, it says not financial advice. Remember
Yeah.
to like and subscribe.
Poor Jared's lawyer is going to be like, he was on Zoom. He wasn't on YouTube. He didn't see it.
not financial advice.
Okay, so we still haven't heard the reason on why 80 is the number that you're sitting and waiting on.
That was his high school football number. Okay. It's his lucky number.
What was that, Brad?
I've been more believable if it was 80s, like the pill 80s. No, I said why is 80 the number that you're waiting on? What's significant about the 80 for you?
If I gave you an answer, it'd probably be a wrong answer. So I'm just gonna refrain. I'm gonna plead the fifth.
So you don't have an answer. That's all.
No, I have it. No, I actually do have an answer.
Well, then share it.
Psychological.
No,
Maybe he's just waiting on a retracement to get in on the train.
correct. So for me, on my candles is what I'm looking at right here on this chart. The one that broke and then held above the other previous high, I go to the next one and look for retracement back to test the candle that broke it. So for me, the bottom of it is right at 80. Just shut up.
No, I mean, I'm not judging you, right? I just want you to have a reason. And if you have a reason, then that's great, right? Regardless of if I think the reason is a good reason or if it's not, that's not up to me. I'm not trading for you. You know, so but what I don't want anyone to do is just to not have a reason. Right, because that's when people
So,
get into trouble.
I
They're just
know.
like,
So
"Ah."
I got in at 73 and then I got out at 83. And I'm looking for it to come back to get in again. Like you said, I may not get filled.
You're looking at a 5-minute chart, Jared?
I'm looking at a 5-minute. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not judging you. I'm asking you to judge yourself.
Exactly.
Thin spot on the profile.
Exactly. Your toughest critic should be yourself, honestly. And I'm tough on Jared, I can tell you.
Oh, we know.
You guys don't get the text I get. It's borderline harassment.
I can believe that. Oh, poor Jared.
Poor Jared. Poor me.
Poor Jared's like, I don't remember signing up for this.
Listen, I
I'll
can
pay
get
a
this abuse
subscription
in
for
the other
this
room
harassment.
from the wife. I don't need this shit.
I'm like fucking Tony Montana, okay? You need people like me. I've been trying to find that meme for so long, too.
Or maybe I'm just trying to justify the fact that it came down to like 87 or 88 or something. And I was like, fuck, I want to enter right there. And I didn't. And it's gone up ever since. I'm like, just waiting for a better retest. That's all.
And there's nothing wrong with that, like being patient, right?
Yeah.
To me, if we do trade down to the 80, I would be treating this E high as excess and possibly the entrance of a seller and targeting the D low and back into that previous day as high if they trade back below the 80. That's the only reason um, I don't think that's really the best spot.
Yeah, I was thinking back on yesterday where I was looking for the same thing. Like, okay, it's went up so far, I'll wait on it to pull back and then get in. And I got in 3 times, but I was too early. Like, I didn't wait for really the confluence. So it's like you could be getting in when it's actually rolling over for a little bit further pullback. So you just have to be careful.
Exactly. And because 80 would be a closing of these single prints, letting us know that we're not getting held up by short inventory anymore, so that shorts have had a chance to rebalance in the market, giving them an opportunity to try to regain control and target the single prints below that we have down here in C period, right? We've got those little itty bitty single prints down there, right below that D low, and closing of that would almost make us want to treat this as single print. But I think a better entrance would be, you know,
Prior day high. Yeah.
what you do, you boo boo. We even talked about it yesterday on Fortnite when the market opened up on the gap lower and started trading lower. We're like, nah, no, this thing's going back up. All just the weakness. Hold the rinse and repeat.
We were talking about the floor traders before. Did you ever see I think it was on Netflix, the guy was shaving points for the basketball team? The
Mm-hmm.
bookie had him by the balls. You see that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
I love
that.
They
watching
got
that.
some floor trader. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Funded futures trading. What's up, man? How are you? We're just waiting for the market to trade up to 39.22. That's all. That's what we can be happy with today. Nasdaq's getting close to our target as well of 11,734. They're pounding here, knocking on the door. Oh my god, there's just so many stops up here. Give them up. That oil number just came out a little while ago. What are we getting into? The euro close here? Euro was short too, so. And gasoline inventories down more than expected. Crude oil inventories up. Oh. How about that? And the CL is popping 3.18.
You think this 3,900 psychological?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Could see some.
We could see some pile in, yeah.
This could be the area where we get our little retracement or whatever, maybe.
Yeah, so an
Short term.
ideal situation to get back into the long here would be coming down here to this 86. Little retracement here, then the turn and go. Going great. You have an Apex account. You just passed the profit in 2 days. Just need 10 days. I want to get 2 to 5 smaller accounts and copy trade. Maybe I'll use your link. Yeah, if you want, man, go for it. And good stuff. Glad you passed the account. Just remember to keep it small when you get to that funded account, right? No reason. I know a lot of people get on that trial or whatever and they start just fucking gambling the fuck out of it, but it's better to keep it and build it up long term than to try to max it out. My group is in a Discord. It's not paid, it's free. You want to check it out, mainly focus on the ES and the Euro. Yeah, we do. We have some people that also trade the Forex. Let me post the link for you, my man. Invite. Copy. Only thing that we ask is that you be positive and respectful, right? Everyone's at a different path on their journey. So, you know, don't get in there and start shit talking and being like, oh, look what I did, look what I did. That's not really what we're about. We're all about helping each other maintain perspective and building each other up and understanding that we're all on different paths or different parts of the same path and all leading to the same end line. Offer coming on the 94 here, so you're getting a little bit of offering moving down. If you take a peek at let me detach this. Take a peek at the DOM here. You can see, you know, all this inventory. Look at 1,000 lots just sitting on that 3,900, right? And you've got just a ton of orders here. We could scrunch this out and see. We got 24 lot, 10 lot, 60, 50, 40, 50, 50, 18, 256, 11, 240, 16. So some fairly larger sized traders sitting up here. But you can see like where they're moving the offer down to, right? So your initial offers here, buyers start taking profit here. That's where that stop run happened, right? And you can see, I mean, kind of a little bit of a taper, but then the offer really started coming in 95. Here's 95, and that's where this starts to roll through. So, and then you're seeing a little bit more offering coming in down here as well. But no real downticks. You know what I mean? Like we're getting volume here, but not really. I mean, we still haven't even broken past that E low yet. Thanks, man. Down to earth, no FOMO, my relaxed earth vibes. I get that a lot. People say that about me a lot. They're like, "Man, you're so chill." I don't know if it's a compliment or a slight. I think this is just kind of FOMO buying. I don't necessarily think it's a short squeeze or anything. Something, yeah, Roach. No, that's a CR charts DOM, Rob. The volume's on the DOM, Jake. Yeah, let me detach it again. So like here we have total volume. So it's just like our volume profile, just like this. This is obviously price. These are resting buy orders. These are resting sell orders. This is just the bid and ask profile. So basically a volume profile spliced into bid and ask. These are, orders that traded on the bid, and these are orders that traded on the offer. And then these are called market buy orders. Basically it's like, so if this is 189 lots sitting here, and there's the two biggest orders sitting here are 210 lots, right? So this he's fucking nobody, you know what I mean? But this guy's a 50 lot trader, so that might be a little bit of a somebody right there, right? That's pretty much it. Think or swim? No, Thinkorswim's Dom sucks ass. It's terrible. These are just guys, these are just fucking numbers. This is not a magic potion or a recipe for success, right? I watched this chart like all day. Like when I was sick on Monday, I just made this chart my full screen and just stared at it the whole time, just to watch to see, who kind of is going, right? My TPO and my Dom are kind of my two go-tos. But it speaks to everybody differently. In this chart, we could show examples on the Dom, but the Dom is different every single time because the trades are different every single time. So your information still needs to come from your TPO. When I'm going over to my Dom, it's like TJ going over to his 1 minute chart over here, right? Because I'm looking for my entry on this chart. I'm not looking at this chart for some secret information. I'm looking at this chart for the secret information. My TPO is giving me the secret information, where value is going. My Dom is just telling me, okay, where's a good entry? Let me see if I can find some trap sellers and get in above them and use them as my stop loss.
And that's the secret sauce.
And that's the secret sauce there. That's Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, they rejected the 38.92 5 times.
Okay, so let's watch this 85-84 level, and if we get some buyers stepping up that 85-84 level, that would be kind of our nice level to get that rebirth. We're getting that liquidation right there, right to the 50 moving average on the 1 minute. I got Bazooka Joe X-ray shades and the fucking decoder pen from the Christmas Story.
It's a Dakota ring, man.
Was it a ring?
It's a ring.
I thought it was a pen.
No.
Oh.
I've seen that movie like, I don't know, 45 or 50 times. So I'm just telling you. It was a little orphan Annie Dakota ring, in fact. Just to put it all in perspective.
Bookmap? I mean Bookmap, so I have Bookmap right here. I'm gonna look at Bookmap. Thinkorswim gives you Bookmap for free. It's just not very, it's got to load up. It's just not very helpful. To me, some people are fucking excellent with Bookmap, but for me, that's not. It doesn't do it for me. As much as I want it to, and you can even ask James, I just love the idea of Bookmap. Or just for some reason, the concept to me just doesn't bring me into good trades. Some people it does, some people it doesn't. But if you've got Thinkorswim, you just hit this support button up here, ask them to activate the bookmap for you, and it's free for the ES, it's free for Apple, and free for Microsoft, I think. So you can have it. Little pulling back here in tech. Little overhead resistance here now as well. Where's that VWAP at? VWAP so far back. It just depends on what speaks to you. You know what I mean? Like, whatever charts that you have up, you know, you don't want to just have the charts up just because I have them up, because they might not speak to you the way they speak to other people. Like, I constantly come back to my 10 range chart, because that's the chart that I feel comfortable on, right? That's the chart that lets me see the inflections that I want to see. But, you know, people use different charts. Jared's using a 5-minute chart to find the things that speak to him. TJ uses the 1-minute chart that speaks to him, right? People use Bollinger Bands or RSI, and those things can speak to you. You know, the key thing for me really just always comes back to my TPO. What's my TPO telling me what the market's trying to do? And that's where I get the story of the market.
Brad, if F period opens up and tests this high and can't take the E, would you be qualifying a short, or would you just wait for the responsive long on the pullback?
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. I don't think the market's really shown us any strength yet. I want to see the D low. I mean, honestly, like I there's just so much trapped inventory. Even if it breaks, you still got a bunch of trapped inventory way back here down below the open. I just don't see, you know, this would be more of a break of one time framing because of time rather than actual selling. What I would like to see is I'd like to see F open. I'd like to see it come down to like this 85 and then get a negative 1,000 tick. Just to show all the momentum shorts trying to pile in.
I mean, I'm not saying we're going to 80, but you know.
Yeah, I could see F opening up, testing the high, and then maybe trying to fill the D single prints, depending on how the price action comes in. Or we could keep one time frame. You know, there's always two sides.
Yep. And I typically tend to just trade the one side of the market. Not very often do I go back on both sides. What do we got? 2 minutes left. You thought it was BM for a minute, but too blurry and doesn't have delta. What's BM?
Probably bookmap.
Mm. Bookmap, yeah. Here we go. We've got about 30 seconds left until F period opens up. Back above the 50 on this 1 minute. Starting to see the tick start to form. NASDAQ's kind of sitting out of support. Still some juice left in NASDAQ to squeeze here. When a control is going to shift up, yeah, most likely we'll get our first spot with 3 TPOs. Offers on the 94, guys. That's where we're watching, 94. Above 94, the market starts to get a little bit scared, and you probably see some shorts start to cover. Excuse me. In the 90 here. Absorbed. I like to see the breath pick up here a little bit as well. I'm 6-1 on the NYSE, but I'd like to see the NASDAQ start clicking up higher here. Starting to get a little bounce off support for the NASDAQ too. There's a little bit more juice in the NASDAQ to squeeze up here. Help us out. Watch the 94. This is where the offer was at in E period. If these offers don't move down and start slinging this 94 again, you should see some shorts start to get scared and start to cover up. We're like a canine right now. We can smell the fear. What's that? It smells like bitch in here. That's these sellers. What movie is that from?
I can't think of what movie that. It sounds familiar. I'm trying to think of it. It's like smells like bitch in here. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
So they offer the 93 there. Do an okay job. It looks like a little liquidation, right? Got some sellers stuck down here on the 90 half. See if they offer here. This is where they tried to start their offering, and then they had to let it roll up to that 94 or buyers would give up. Buyers step up on the 90. Oh, this thing's trying to lull us to sleep.
Trying to shake him out.
Yep, exactly. Back above the 90 again. Well, I think this is about that time, guys. Getting a little bit slow. We've got F period trading inside E period, where the market really just balancing at the highs, trying to figure out what it wants to do. We've already really talked about kind of what we're looking forward going forward. But yeah, other than that, we'll jump into the TPO chat. I am on pickup duty today, so I got to pick up one kid at 2, another kid at 3:30. So I'll be in and out of the TPO chat. But hope to see you guys in there. If you don't know where it's at, just go to the Discord. Scroll down, you'll see Lincoln Logs. Jump in there. My dad's streaming his screen. We'll just jump in there and chat and go over what we whatever we think is going on. Share some ideas and have some fun. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you all tomorrow.